Coach Mack. Started off with a question from Jerry Tipton.
There we go. Coach, Kentucky obviously is 1-5. How, and someone told me they thought it was a must win for them on Saturday. How much zeal are you expecting? What are you expecting from Kentucky on Saturday?
I'm expecting a team that plays extremely hard on the defensive end, is long, is athletic, that makes some mistakes, but makes up for them by deflecting passes and blocking shots and playing with a ton of effort. And that's what I'm expecting.
To Shannon.
Shannon Russell, Courier-Journal. How much do you think that having a game against Wisconsin and then playing an ACC opener helped your team kind of lock down some of the things that, playing hard for all 40 minutes and being kind of attentive to all the game planning ahead of a game that's such a big rivalry game like this?
I just think, every game is a new experience. Every opportunity for our young guys to gain game experience, to both make mistakes and be successful, helps them become veterans, become older. They need to grow up. It was and I've said this before, it was a humbling game at Wisconsin. We certainly, had a lot of moving pieces and there were a lot of variables that came into play, but the bottom line is we did a lot of things poorly. And, it's up to our team to figure out how to correct those. It's up to our coaching staff to figure out how to be better. And, we continue to stay the course, continue to try to improve. I thought we made some good strides at Pitt, but they're not Wisconsin. And Kentucky's a whole different animal in the way that they play and the challenge they present. So, again, we're going to have to draw off our experiences, both positive and negative, and be better on Saturday if we expect to win.
To Michael.
Hey, Chris, Michael McCammon, Cardinal Authority. You kind of made a little joke about it earlier about, winning in front of arenas with no fans. This is obviously a huge game where that's usually a big part of the game is just the fan interaction, the loudness of the crowd. How different and how can you prepare your team for such a big game when there's not going to be many people there?
Well, I think our players, and quite honestly, their players, I can't speak for them, but you know about this game. If you follow college basketball at all, it's part of the reason that you came to a place like Louisville or come to Kentucky is because you want to play in games that, people watch all around the country and people have an interest in. And so that's not going to change what happens between the lines on Saturday. I'm disappointed for, both fan bases. There's a lot to be disappointed, not just in sporting events, but just how we've all had to live here over the last 8-9 months. And we all understand it. That's why we're doing a Zoom call today. But, it's an adjustment. I've said it before, I'll say it again. If it was only one team or one program that had to make an adjustment and everybody else got to play differently, then it'd be unfair, but that's not the case.
Go to Tyler and then back to Jerry.
Chris, you guys have a bit of an experience advantage when it comes to the backcourt matchup. How do you think that can play into your hands on Saturday between Carleek and David versus what Kentucky brings?
I don't know if we have that much experience. I mean, David played 57 seconds last year and gave up a 3 in our zone. So, and Carleek has never played Kentucky. So, it's certainly I've got older players, and they're going to have to make experience type plays for us to win, and we expect them to. Dave has to cut down on his turnovers. Our whole team does. The careless ones that we have where we step out of bounds. I checked after the game, and the court was regulation at Pitt. They didn't put down some high school lines, and we just didn't recognize that. It was a regulation court, and we stepped out 3 times. I've never seen that in basketball before, so hopefully that was an exception to the rule.
To Jerry.
Yeah, Chris, John Calipari had a teleconference earlier today in which he said that, and it was hard to tell how serious he was, that he had suggested to you that let's cancel the game or postpone the game this year because of no fans, kind of hearkening back to your video earlier. I'm wondering if that's true and how serious that offer was.
No, it's not true. It's just Cal being funny.
Other questions for Coach? Shannon?
So what do you think that your team, obviously, that you have the game plans you always have in terms of what you want to do well, but specifically against Kentucky, is there one area that you really want to see your team do well besides containing the turnovers?
Well, I think on the offensive end, it would be that, Shannon. It would be, better taking care of the basketball, the careless turnovers. The turnovers that an experienced player, they have context of what's happening in the game. If we've had 2 turnovers in a row, that's not the time that you try to punch a gap when there's a couple players in there and make a play early in the shot clock. Now that leads to 3 turnovers in a row. Experienced teams don't do that. And we're not experienced at times. And so we have to learn from those mistakes and not repeat them in the future. On the defensive end, there are a lot of challenges. I think starts with Sarr in the middle. I mean, he gave us problems last year, and we have 2 experienced post players in Malik and Steve a year ago. He gave us problems. And now we have 2 freshmen. And so we have to do what we need to do to make it a hard game on him. I think that we have to keep them as best we can out of the open court. And that goes hand in hand with, how are you taking care of the basketball? What kind of offense are you running that lead to predictable shots for us so that we can have good floor balance and offensive rebound at the same time, not let them get out in the open court. And then we have to make sure that we keep individual matchups and challenges in front of us as best we can, because they have elite burst with the ball, and we need to be able to step in and take charges.
Michael?
Coach, Chris didn't play the full game because he was still trying to find his wind against Pittsburgh. How are you pleased with how he's continuing to progress, and do you think he's got his wind back for him?
You mean Carlik?
Carlik, yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. I think Carlik did an incredible job for a guy that, hadn't practiced for so long and was in the return to play progression to get to the point that he could play the minutes that he did on Tuesday. I think it's, we all try to get in shape no matter what age we are, the harder you push yourself, then the easier it is the next time to do the same thing that you did the day before or the day before. So he's getting in better shape. I think his stamina and his win will be much greater on Saturday than it was on Tuesday, and that'll be a good thing for both he and our team.
Coach, thank you for your time today. That ends our press conference.